Hey everybody, this is Gokai Spartan. This is giving y'all an update on Power Rangers Altered Universe and what's going on with the fan series and what's going on with me. I'm not necessarily taking a full hiatus, but for the most part, it's probably going to take me a little longer to make this episode because now when I tend to make my episodes, I kind of want to meet that hour mark or at least the 45-minute mark for the episode. Have multiple plot lines in it, and right now I am currently working on a Yu-Gi-Oh plot line for the episode. I have not touched on the Yu-Gi-Oh characters for a while, mainly because for me, I like a lot of shows and a lot of franchises, and for each one, it's like I have to go into that world and get back into those characters' heads again and see where everybody's at. Because like with the Power Rangers, that's a lot of characters that I'm in their head with the villains, the Flawless Military, Calypso, etc. So for Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a whole thing for me because I'm a duelist. I play Yu-Gi-Oh. I actually downloaded Duel Links again, and I've been getting slapped by Dark Dragoon. Now I could just build Dark Dragoon and build something stop Dark Dragoon, which at some point I will, but I just started the game up again, and I lost my other account, so I had to start from a new account. Now I made an Ancient Gear deck, and I'm mostly running that. So I've been mostly on a Yu-Gi-Oh binge lately, because like I said, it's a world that I have to get back into, and I'm so glad to be here, man. Like, it's Domino City, Yu-Gi-Oh. Believe it or not, I'm actually watching the other ones too. I'm actually watching Zexal, and I'm watching Sevens right now. And I like both of them. The only thing I don't like about Zexal is like Yuma sometimes, but sometimes I do like certain things in Zexal. Like, it was one episode, like, the thing is, I watch it while I'm working on whatever I'm working on and stuff, so it'd be in the background. And it was one episode where Yuma didn't want Astro's help. Astro was trying to backseat duel, and Yuma was like, yo, shut up, I'm in the middle of a duel. And he was doing Shark. And nah, I like the first episode how Yuma was considered a loser, bro. Like, they called him like, nah, nigga, you was a loser, you trash. Everybody thought he was trash, and Astro even thought he was trash. And then when he finally beat Shark, like, niggas probably put some respect on his name. In Sevens, nigga, that shit is fire, bro. You got Playmaker, you got Soul Burner, and all these AI type characters and stuff like that. It's anti-AI. And to be honest, watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, it's interesting because of what's going on in the world now with AI and stuff like that. So it's very interesting seeing like a Yu-Gi-Oh show that took place in that before. Like I said, I said in a previous video that I didn't necessarily like the other Yu-Gi-Oh ones. I still somewhat stand by that, but I'm kind of enjoying my ride here with these newer Yu-Gi-Ohs. They're not that bad. I really like the theme song for Zexal. It's just stuck in my ear right now. I want to to challenge myself, and I wish Sevens had a better theme song, because I didn't like Sevens theme song. Like, I thought the Sevens theme song was trash. It's like, I feel like Sevens has better characters and a better plot, but Zexal has better music. Like, Zexal got that GX feeling to it, and like Sevens feels like Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's just like futuristic OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, it feels more like OG Yu-Gi-Oh! It has that spirit to it, or like more akin to like a 5Ds or something like that. But I've been enjoying some Yu-Gi-Oh! lately. I've been getting back into the Yu-Gi-Oh! world because it's like I gotta pay these characters a visit, like Yugi, Joey, Tristan, Taya. Get inside the mindsets of them, Kaiba, the Doma 3 with Alistair, Val, and Raphael, and mine, and Rex, and I have a whole storyline with them involved in the Power Rangers Altered Universe. And it's going to be continuous. There's going to be even more episodes with Dual Ranger and all the other teams. It's just I got to spread these things out sporadically because there's so many different teams and characters. So what I intend to do in this video before I leave, because I do got to leave and I do got to do other stuff, is I'm going to briefly go over the arcs where we've been at in Power Rangers Altered Universe and where we at now, because if you count the playlist in order, it's about 50 some odd videos there, starting all the way from Tommy and Draken fighting all the way to the Zangek battle with the Gokaigas and the All Mother and the Gosagers, or should I say Megaforce Rangers. Now, in that episode, I guess I'll go over that episode once I get through the arcs. So I'm going to just go through the episodes very briefly on where we were at before, where we're at now. Episode 1 is essentially when Tommy and Draken are fighting. They're in the middle of a battle because Draken's trying to take over with his Ranger sentries. Tommy and Draken essentially sacrifice their life. Well, Tommy essentially sacrifices his life, but he doesn't necessarily die. He's found by Rihanna, the Gaia of Nature. Gaia of Nature, she's the goddess with the red hair that is Calypso's and Mavis's sister, essentially. So that while that happens, Drakken's also inside them, but that opened the Abyss of Evil, which released all of the evils from Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, and Super Sentai, and various even newer evils that are original to this universe. And two evil people that got released from there was Ikage and Madoka. Ikage and Madoka, there are several problems that got released when the Abyss of Evil opened. Of course, all of the Power Ranger villains got released. Your Rita, your Zag, your Psycho Rangers, your Astronomer, your Lord, your Daishi, your Lothors, all of them, Decker, all of them got released from the Abyss of Evil. And they all want to destroy the Power Rangers on their own way. They just didn't necessarily know how to go about it, because not only are there 30 teams of Power Rangers, 30 teams of Super Sentai, the Kamen Riders that are known, there's also the Flawless Military, who in the third episode, they hacked the Morphing Grid. They hacked the Morphing Grid because they basically want to empower, they want to make better Power Rangers, because there was a lot of prophecies going on about the end of the world and that the Power Rangers aren't going to be enough. So Rogexiel and Beatrice decided to create an army of Power Rangers, essentially with the Flawless Military, where they can have powers, give out the powers, and alter the powers. They don't just have Power Ranger powers, they basically have access to everything, because Rogexiel makes it her mission to integrate the multiverse. She kind of collects, like she kind of blends multiverses together, but not in a way where she's going to show up with a big ass army and destroy everything. Kind of like she kind of wants to unity with them, essentially, where she wants to help them with their problems and stuff. But Rogexiel kind of got the same problem that Goku has, whereas the reason why Goku never came back in the Majin Buu arc is because mad people kept coming back to fight him, like Cell, Frieza, the Red Ribbon Army, all of the Saiyans, they all came to Earth. Rogexiel has that problem tenfold with the Galactic Crash Outs, the Greek gods, and all the other enemies that she's accumulated through all of her resets and lives and stuff like that. Why she built the Flawless Military, to monitor the multiverse and to deal with the larger threats at large, and also as a deterrent for villains. Essentially, she kind of wanted to find a way to rehabilitate some of these villains, in a sense, or make them better and use their services for good, even if she has to use force to make them comply. She doesn't do this with every villains. With certain villains, she had a soft spot for. Like Littlefinger and Madara, she has two past lives with them. With Littlefinger's Patroclus, and Madara, it's Susano. It's another character that's going to exist in Calypso's Odyssey. And if you haven't seen Calypso's Odyssey, check it out, because there's probably people watching the new Power Rangers Altered Universe trailer wondering where the hell did Zeus come from. He was always here. You have to watch everything. All of the videos that I make, they're all interconnected. So Calypso's Odyssey is where Zeus is going to come from, essentially. Prior to them hacking the Morphing Grid, they went to Westeros. They went to Westeros because Daenerys was going to burn it to the ground, and essentially Bran was going to take over. And Littlefinger didn't like that. Littlefinger got brought back to life because of him being related to her due to Patroclus. But while he was back to life, he decided he wanted to try to take over Westeros. He kind of wanted to manipulate her to do so. And he kind of got his way, but not really, because she knew he was going to do that, but she had an even bigger deterrent for Westeros. Instead of giving it to just Littlefinger, she's just going to give it to the royal houses, where they all rule their own lands and stuff, and they have more of a diplomatic system where they all have, instead of a small council, it's a large council meeting where all the houses could actually get together and decide the states of the realm and stuff like that. Littlefinger monitors that part of it, essentially. Whereas the royal houses, it's more of an era of peace where they're not fighting against each other anymore, because Rogexiel made an almighty ceasefire that basically all hostilities that existed within the Game of Thrones universe needed to be ceased and hold. Basically a restart for everybody. Not a lot of people are okay with this restart. Like Tywin Lannister, he's Tywin Lannister. He's not okay with it because he wants power, he wants to be important. And also he got Daishi in it, who's just basically making him even worse. So some of the people are okay with the restart. Arya's pissed because she can't kill Littlefinger, and all the other people that she killed are back to life, and there's not much she can really do about it. I mean, she could go and kill these people again, but does she really even want to bother at that point? Sansa, at this point, with Littlefinger coming back, Sansa realized this nigga is inevitable. But with the mother there, she talked to Rogexiel a lot, and essentially they got it so Littlefinger can't even do anything to the Starks, where he has to leave that entire family alone. Well, I mean, he can still go over there and they got Wi-Fi and all a bunch of and there's a bunch of shit going on in Winterfell right now that Littlefinger needs to be there for, because niggas just got access to technology, and Littlefinger's been around it just slightly longer than the rest of them, and by extension Sansa too, since she's interconnected with this, because At first she was tight, but once she found the flawless military headquarters and realized that the universe was way bigger than her little Winterfell home, she just decided to basically learn more about the galaxy. That's why she was more, you see her more at the headquarters than you actually see her at Winterfell. Because with Ned Stark and Catelyn alive, they're basically the lords and ladies of Winterfell. Because with season 8 undone, that kind of somewhat undoes Sansa being queen, but not really. She's still queen in name and title, but her mommy and daddy are there, so she's just gonna explore the universe and shit like that. Rickon is incredibly happy because he has the Star Force Rangers, so he got that going for him, because he didn't have shit going for him in Game of Thrones. So like he has his team going for him, and like he now he wants to get back at Athena because Athena done killed Bran. I did say I was going to go through this shit in order, so let's get back to the order of things. So after they hacked the Morphin Grid, there was 2 episodes that happened. One of the episodes was with Decker. Decker, he fought Madara and lost, and Madara basically gave him a life lesson, essentially saying, if like come back when you find something to fight for, because that blade is essentially cursed and it's basically like it's gonna lead you, it's just gonna lead you to a bad path. So eventually Decker ends up at Calypso's diner, where Calypso has a bunch of jobs. The Flawless military just has a bunch. They're hiring, like they got more jobs than we got in our real world right now, son. So they're hiring, like Calypso's hiring, Marluxia be hiring, he got fashion things going on, Sigmar got a casino, Luxor got his own casino, Sayax got gyms. That's why you see when you see the episode where Chishia and Laguni is training at the gym. Chishia is the yellow Mega Force Ranger that replaced Gia, and since Gia is going to be red, yeah, you see like Sayax's face on there because that's his gym. He owns that gym. Like Flawless military own a bunch of stuff. Like it's branded for them. That's why the Nobody sigil was upside down. That's the Flawless military sigil. It's upside down pink Nobody sigil. So after that, the first attack on Winterfell happens, and it's Goldar, and he comes through and he attacks Winterfell, and Littlefinger has to fight, and Littlefinger barely knows how to fight, because yes, he has the powers of the Morphin Grid, but he's not necessarily seasoned with that yet, and he just got the Dark One powers, but he doesn't necessarily know how to use any of it. By now it's 50 episodes in Littlefinger's experience, but during that time frame, he was still green. He could still get his ass beat. I mean, now he's a little bit more on like Doctor Strange tier level, but him and Sansa and the rest of Winterfell, mostly the Starks, like Arya was there, Robb was there, the Hound, Ned, Stannis, and Robert was there. It's because I really like the Baratheons. They had to be there. And not only that, you gotta think of it this way. If everybody's brought back to life, why isn't Robert and Ned hanging out? They're brought back to life. They're gonna want to be in each other's company. So that would give reason for Robert and Stannis to be there. So they vanquish Goldar eventually, because the Flawless military comes, and that's how they get their first morphin powers. Now you see the Rangers now you see the Game of Thrones characters usually have different suits. Like Jon Snow had like 3-4 different Ranger suits by now. The reason why is because they're kind of upgradable. You gotta think of Power Ranger suits like a customizable game where like they have skins and stuff. Like for instance, in the Power Rangers Boom Studios comic book, where it was just Kimberly, Trini, and Zack, and they had like another person playing the Red and Blue Ranger. In that one comic book, they had different Mighty Morphin suits and stuff like that. So I consider this a skin change. So yeah, so there's a lot. So basically, in the Flawless military, you can edit your Ranger costume. You don't have to necessarily have the same one. Some people usually keep the same ones, like the Star Force Rangers, but Itachi done edited his shit. Like he started off with Show Longbow shit. He had the purple Star Force Ranger, but now he doesn't even have that. He has his own. He has him and the rest of the Akatsuki. They have their Akatsuki Rangers now, because they started off with he started off with the Purple Rangers. And the thing is, now the Purple Rangers powers are dormant, because those are the only Q Ranger powers that don't have a wielder now, because Itachi has a new set of powers. So I might have to make somebody a new Q Ranger for purple. I might give him a new character, or I might just rank up Thanos, because Thanos is purple, and it would make more sense for him to have purple instead of yellow. And he'd probably get somebody else to be yellow. I don't know. See how House of Dragons is going, and see if I like Daron or something like that, because Helena and them are already there. So putting that character as the next Ranger would fill out the greens, because the greens are there. And you wonder why I don't have Jacaerys in them. Like, I would, but the greens are just more interesting to write for. I'm sorry, bro. Rhaenyra's group is boring as bread, bro. Like, I'm sorry. I like Rhaenyra in them, but they give me nothing to work with, bro. Like, they don't, except for Corlys. I gotta think of something for Corlys and Cole, because I do like Corlys and Rhaenys. The thing is, I already had a plot for Rhaenyra in them. It's just that I never went through with it, because there's so many different plot lines that's going on simultaneously that I didn't find room to put Rhaenyra and the Targaryen plot. Because most of the Game of Thrones characters are going to expand outside of Westeros. They're going to find land on different planets, and they're going to colonize there, or they're going to group in with different individuals, and they're going to more or less. And the Targaryens already beat the rest of them to the punch. Like, while the Lannisters and them were trying to make it, and the Starks were trying to make it work in Westeros, the Targaryens already have a new Valyria. I just need to make the footage for it, and they're all there essentially. Egg is there, he's young. I could make him older and stuff, but like, you know, Dunk and Egg just came out, and we could just say that Rogexio just brought him back at the prime, at the age that they wanted to be back. And for Dunk and Egg, he just wanted to relive his childhood essentially. But he's still a Targaryen and has responsibilities, so he acts as the older Aegon, because little Egg kind of already acts a little older for it. Like, he's already telling Dunk what to do and stuff like that, so that kind of works for him. Rhaenyra would be the one that's in charge of that whole town. The reason why is because all the crash out Targaryens are with Daenerys. Like, all the people that are problems, like Maegor, Aerion, her father Aerys, Viserys the Third, and any other piece of shit Targaryen you could think of is with Daenerys. But like the good ones, like Baelor and Rhaenyra and Rhaenys and Egg, yeah, they're in New Valyria. They're in New Valyria. So yeah, the episode happens with the Starforce Rangers, which the first team consisted of Lucky Vaughn, which he was a character that existed alongside Rogexio when I made my original story and stuff like that. He's a derivative of an older character I had called Jada, which is Rogexio's derivative of an even older character I had called Ashley. It's a long story. I've been doing this shit since I was 5 years old. So, point is, Lucky Vaughn, he's the Red Ranger. Rickon Starks are blue. Tintin's green. Luisa Madrigal is black. Namine is pink. Naragi is orange. Thanos is yellow. Aegon is silver. Aemon is gold. Morty is sky blue and Itachi is purple. Later on, Otto and Helena get added because Otto gets a green commander form and Helena gets her own green form. And Kasame is technically a part of the Starforce team, but the Akatsuki Rangers are their own thing after a certain point. So at a certain point, Itachi and Kasame were a part of Starforce, but now they're Akatsuki Rangers. So they're their own team now. The Starforce are their own team, and now Itachi and them are their own team. But in the first episode, Ikage showed up. SPD Bridge also showed up as Red Ranger because that's how he ended in SPD. And this was around the time of 2025, so I really wanted to do something with SPD. I really wanted to lock in on SPD and stuff like that. Around that time, that's why I had a lot of SPD plot lines around that time frame. And like Ikage showed up, and at first they won because this Ikage just kind of got brought back from the Abyss of Evil. He hasn't returned to his full strength yet, and he hasn't got all the Zenkai boosts and all the fuck bullshit that happens later on in the story where he's just inconceivably fucking powerful, where him and Rogexio are standing like across from each other as enemies and shit like that. So he does get destroyed by the Power Rangers, and the thing is, Ikage destroying Ikage is not the problem. It's destroying him permanently. Because when they destroyed him, you know, he comes back gigantified because that's what happens in Power Rangers. All villains become giant monsters, and then we get into the Mecha, and the Megazord battle happens. But something different happened. And the first time the Starforce Rangers hit the battlefield, they lost. Because Ikage kept coming back to life, and he blew up the entire city along with all of the Megazords and caught several bodies. Some of them niggas was dead. Bridge died. Bridge was gone. I'm gonna tell you everybody that was dead right now. Bridge was dead. Rickon was dead. Tintin was dead. Aemon was dead. Aegon was dead. Namine was dead. Morty was still alive somehow. I don't know how Morty was still alive, but Morty was still alive. Lucky Vaughn was still alive. Itachi was standing on 2 feet. He was, believe it or not, if Rogexio did not show up to fight Ikage, Itachi probably could have handled it at that point. Because Itachi was still ready to fight. But Rogexio showed up and skill drained them, and that's when the Starforce Rangers defeated Ikage. And that's the first body that they caught, and it was a big deal for the Forces of Evil. Ikage 9 made the Forces of Evil a little bit angsty. It was like, oh shit, that nigga died, his reputation is crazy, so like it made them a little bit angsty. And there was a lot more different characters in that episode of Star Force. The first episode of Star Force, which would technically be, let me see, it would be like the 5th, 6th episode of Star Force. So there was different villains there, because now I'm remembering it. Divatox was there, but I also had Ivan Ooze there, and I had Thrag, which is Lord Zed's son. We'll get back to those characters. They still do exist. Ivan Ooze is part of the 10 Terrors in the Shattered Grid Redux universe whenever I get back to that. Divatox, she's going to be a recurring character because she got bodied by Datara, but, you know, like they brought her back to life because they had Monster Reborn, which they can't do right now because of Tywin Lannister's microcosmos. But the second episode, Divatox attacked the Encanto village. She was looking for the gifts. She wanted to extract the gifts. The reason why she was looking for the gifts because she heard that Luigi Mandragora was a Black Star Force Ranger. She heard all the powers that they had there. Divatox is a pirate. Pirates steal things. So she was just going to steal the gifts. Just didn't work because Luisa, Morty, and Thanos were there. And not only that, the Casita decided to make Isabella and Maribel Power Rangers. And then Pepper showed up. And Pepper's basically Storm. She has the same powers as Storm. It's gonna Pepper, who controls the weather. When she's unhappy, or the temperature gets weird. Yeah, my Theo Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. Damn, I missed it. Damn, I had to break in the song. I do that sometimes, guys. Like, I break in the song. But yeah, Pepper showed up, and it was basically Clip. They defeated Divatox. Elgar turned really big, and the Power Rangers, the Star Force Rangers showed up in their Megazord, and they bested that monster. They bested Elgar. Elgar comes back later on, and then he gets transformed into a fish. He's still a fish, by the way. That nigga did not turn back to normal. They don't know how to turn Elgar back to normal. If I bring Elgar back, they will probably be some type of weird fish hybrid. Because Morty transformed him into a fish, and that's still, and as far as I'm concerned, he's still a fish. In fact, there was a bar scene where Divatox was in the background with a fish in the jar, and it was around the time when they went to Ikagen's bar, because Ikagen has a bar where villains just be chilling at and stuff. Like, he's a really important guy. So yeah, Divatox got bodied, and then the episode after that, because Sky Tate has nightmares about the Flawless Military. The reason why he has nightmares about Flawless Military is because there was a breakout a couple of years back before the Flawless Military hacked the Morphin Grid. A little bit around the time when Rogexio dethroned Xemnas, and they were still trying to work out the kinks of how Organization 13 was going to work. Yeah, Shion had a downward spiral. She had a euphoria moment. She basically, like, she was using, and then she started selling, and then, like, Sayax tried to make it more lucrative where they could sell it. They had, like, this whole kingpin operation going on. And SPD, they arrested Shion. And Roxas and Sayax didn't take too kindly to that, because both of them have crushes on Shion. They both like Shion. Like, they both fuck with Shion heavy. Like, so they're not gonna let their main shorty get arrested like that. Not only that, like, that's their main business partner right there. And not only that, Shion made a lot of friends in jail. She made friends with Harley Quinn, Azula, Big Mom. I'm gonna do an arc where Shion's in jail. I'll do that arc. The reason I haven't really done it, because I don't really like doing jail arcs like that. Like, even right now in this season of Euphoria, there's these DAs in the background where they're about to arrest Alamo and Lori, and I'm just like, whatever. I don't like jail plots like that, but they could be fun. But for Shion, that's what essentially happened to her. She was in jail, like before the Flawless Military got rehabilitated and stuff like that. Work had to be done. Like, shit was going on. Shion was selling. Axel was going to Diddy parties. Like, shit was wild. Like, a lot of shit had to start. That's why you keep seeing Diddy in the videos. He's a recurring character, because Axel has a past with him. Axel used to go to Diddy parties. There's a couple of characters that used to go to Diddy parties. Because there's like a 5-year jump before when Rogexio takes over the organization, then when what's going on when they hacked the Morphin Grid up until now, essentially. So during that 5 years, all this crap happened, and they broke her out of jail because they got Big Mom really, really mad, and they broke her C-phone cuffs, and then, like, whatever inhibitor collars that they had that nullified their powers was broken, and all it was just a big breakout, and Sayax, Roxas, and Axel, they used the corridor's darkness, and they got her up out of there. So yeah, and a lot of people died because it's a bunch of niggas with superpowers wilding the fuck out trying to be free. So yeah, there was a lot of dead SPD casualties. This guy didn't like that. He wanted to do something about the Flawless Military hacking the Morphin Grid, because the Power Rangers was iffy, because they didn't know whether the Flawless Military were evil or good. The truth is, the Flawless Military is like gray. They're good, but they have their methods and shit like that. So Sky Tate decided he's going to arrest any of the Rangers with confiscated power, and he considered the Star Force powers confiscated power, which it wasn't. Those powers were actually organically found. The Cosmic Fury powers were the ones that were confiscated and made into the Cosmic Fury powers without the original basis for the Star Force. But Sky Tate wasn't checking for all of that. He just saw niggas inside Amelia's Megazord, and he was like, oh no. And then he just arrested Tintin and Morty. And that's a terrifying thing to do. Arrest Tintin and Morty like that. It's terrifying enough with Morty because who his grandfather is, but Tintin too, because, like, the fucking Flawless Military. And some of these, and like, Shion already don't like them, so it gives her reason to go in and spaz the fuck out and get them the fuck out of there. Not only that, Mavis was kind of like on her bullshit before then because of fucking Bran. Because Bran Stark was whispering in her brain for a while. Because Bran Stark was trying to sow division. So Mavis was basically trying to get the Flawless Military to attack SPD, because she wanted to essentially start the war, because, like, that was basically Bran's first chess piece was Mavis, which is why you see Mavis on the side of Rogexio later, because it doesn't happen automatically. This trailer that you've seen, all of the things that happened are not in one episode. The latest trailer that I just dropped for season 2, it's not all that happens in one episode. That's going to be episodes that spread out. So eventually Mavis will be with Rogexio in them, but right now she's with the Galactic Crescents. But essentially, she basically made it like the Flawless Military already talking about attacking SPD. Dexter and Beatrice didn't want to do that because Rogexio wasn't there. Rogexio was too busy fighting Galactus because Galactus was basically sent by Astronomer, which was controlled by Brand. This is like like you think of the meme where you see Pain getting puppet stringed by Obito, being puppet stringed by Monoro, being puppet stringed by Kaguya, being puppet stringed by Kishimoto, who's being puppet stringed by Blunt. Like, just think of that meme essentially. So yeah, like Astronomer basically was controlling powerful individuals because the thing about Power Ranger villains is they have spells of evil that can just turn niggas evil. And they all have this shit. They all can do it. Astronomer can do it. How you get the Psycho Rangers got like that? Rita can do it. A lot of them can do it. So Astronomer was turning a lot of powerful foes that were already kind of villainous. So Rogexio had to fight against Android 17, 18, Ultron, Hera. Some of these fights happened off screen. She had Ultron and Hera happened off screen. Conquest happened, but I want to redo that fight when she fought Conquest. She put Conquest in the Genjutsu where he was the hero of, where all the people in Viltrumite fucked with him and they gave him a name, they called him Bob, and he had a dog and stuff like that. So that's how she dealt with Conquest. And she had to fight Galactus. Her and her sister fought Galactus. And while that was happening, Westeros got attacked by Motor. That was the second time Westeros got attacked. And this time it was Winterfell that got attacked, and the defendants were Jon Snow, Sansa Stark, Arya Stark, Aemon Targaryen, Naminé, and Rickon Stark. Those were the people that were there. The reason why Aemon was there is because, realistically speaking, Jon's part Targaryen, so like he would partially be related to Aemon through the line of the series. So more or less, like, yeah, so not only that, Aemon was a real piece of shit in the House of Dragon, at least in the books. I know he's going to be a piece of shit in the show, but it hasn't happened yet. But so yeah, most of the people that's been assholes don't want to be assholes anymore. Some of them still want to be assholes, like Ramsay Bolton in the Mountain and Qyburn. Like, they're not done, in Tywin Lannister, they're not done being assholes yet. But niggas like Aemon, Joffrey, Littlefinger, Cersei, yeah, they're totally fucking done. Like, they got fucking bodied, killed, and destroyed, and they're like, yeah, let's try to be better this time around. So more or less, that place got attacked by Motor. And Motor got eaten by Vhagar because fuck Motor. It's Operation Overdrive. Overdrive is trash. And Furious, we'll get to that in a second. He gets bodied by Kakuzu. But after that, something very, very unfortunate happens in this universe. Ikagen comes right back to life. Golden Lord, who brings niggas back with Monster Reborn, brought Ikagen back with Monster Reborn. There was a big party at Ikagen's bar. It was an evolution at his bar. Because you see, the truth is, the Onyx bar, Ikagen actually started off partially owning that, but once he made his money there, he opened another bar on a aquatic themed planet. It's like an offshoot of the Cthulhu planet, just more with the environment that's kind of Cthulhu and stuff like that, more to fit his aesthetic basically. And he opened a new bar essentially. He got a new bar. He came up, and it was like a tavern at first, but now it's this big place. Like if you watch the show from episode 1 all the way to like around the time when the Huntrix battle happened, you can see the evolution of Ikagen's bar. It's just going to change and stuff like that, because Ikagen also has a lot of evil businesses too. The entire galactic crash out. Every time these niggas catch a body, Ikagen gets paid. Because it's gotten to the point where he's just getting paid for everything, because he's strong-armed and he's strong-armed and bullied his way to the point where he's just getting paid all the time now. Because he's had enough of Xehanort shit. Like, come to think of it, Ikagen's been treating the Xehanorts like Xehanort's going to be pretty mad. Xehanort got bigger problems because fucking Ansem might sip something that nigga drink, courtesy of Shion's Innocent Lord Baelish, because they got his heart in the palm of his hands. But now that Ikagen's back to life, the first thing he wants to do is just chill. He's chilling with Battleox, he's chilling with Cancer, he's chilling with Tatsugami, Leo. The thing about Tatsugami and Leo is they're two different characters essentially in the same body. Tatsugami! No, my apologies. I just was getting into the voice because I'm about to do Leo's voice. Tatsugami more or less has like a deep voice and stuff like that. He's more composed, more controlled, more deliberate in what he does. He's partially responsible for the Crash Out switches being what they are, and they're offshoots of the Zodiac switches, which was helped remanufactured by Qyburn, Madoko, and Tatsugami. And Squazzle. Before Qyburn got annoyed and had that nigga melted down and wanted to take all of his knowledge because he felt like he was useless and he could do more with it. So he gave Madoko some money and Madoko to do that nigga the fuck up. So yeah, so the first job that happened was Bajillionaire, because Bajillionaire, she remembered what happened in Cosmic Fury. Her ultimate evil wave was stopped. She didn't like that, and she wants to get back at the Cosmic Fury Rangers. And she heard that this nigga's really good at his job. She heard that if it wasn't for Rogexio, the Star Force Rangers would be dead. And not only that, in a couple of episodes prior, him and his team wiped out the Megaforce Rangers. Yeah, I completely skipped over the Megaforce and the Gokaiger plot. Let's go over it briefly. Arceus Gil basically wants to kill the Gokaigers. he hires Kagan, but he also hires Golden Lord. He hires two factions of villains, the Galactic Crashouts and Golden Lord, and his Yu-Gi-Oh monsters, essentially. Where Ash Blossom can negate any of their searches and stuff like that. There's several monsters that can do it. It's not just Ash Blossom. Joel and Lockbird is there. That's why you see Golden Lord with the Lockbird in the trailer. But basically, he sends Erudrone Sagittarius III. And Erudrone Sagittarius III fights them. I redid the episodes in episode 30 and 29, so that's the one I'm speaking on, even though it happened the first time, but it came out cleaner the second time. So that's my headcanon on what actually happened. That's why I redo some of these fights, because like the tools I'm using do get better over time, and my ideas get better for how the fights turn out over time. So Erudrone showed up, and Ash Blossom did her thing. And Arceus Guild, Dyrando, and Mr. Toxwig was eating popcorn, just eating some popcorn, while watching the Mega Force Rangers get slaughtered, because Hikage, Madoka, Final Boss, and Tatsugami all showed up in their human forms. Hikage and Madoka will have human forms. They could just transform. They're not humans. They're Cthulhuans, which is basically an alien race that was eons old because of Poseidon. Basically, it happened several resets in the universe, like began and ended several times over, and the Cthulhuans were still kind of there. And there were different variants of the Greek gods, but they were way different. Like the Zeus that we have now in the 59th is not related to Rogexiel, but the Zeus that's coming back to fuck everything up is related to Rogexiel. Because when the universe gets reset, different people inhabit certain souls. So that's why we get a Zeus that's friendly to. That's why we get a Zeus that's not out here cheating, and he's over here, like, you know, he's like. His wife have a loving relationship, and Hera doesn't hate Hercules, because the universe been rewritten so many times that story can be told now that Zeus is a loving father, where the Zeus that wasn't was sealed away long ago, and he's pissed now because his daughter did that to him. And the reason why she did that is because you did that to her. You told her she couldn't leave the island. You said if you leave the island, she gets vaporized on the spot, and it didn't happen. And then she learned all the other atrocities of the world, and she just wanted to basically stop you. Like Rogexiel said in the trailer, she had one very bad day, and it led to a catastrophic bullshit of a whole bunch of shit happening. Her bad day led to the entire Cthulhu race being born. Her bad day led to an ancient witch with a grudge that didn't die, that was lived and humiliated as a rat, and that does not, and she will never get over it. And her bad day, yeah, it led to a lot of bad things. It also led to some good things, which is why I gotta continue to tell the stories of Calypso's Odyssey. Along with this, is a lot I'm going to do, essentially, with this project. And after the Cosmic Fury Rangers got destroyed, because they wiped all of them niggas off the map, except for Zato, because Zato's a Morphomaster, he wasn't there around that time. Dexter brings them back with Operation Phoenix, because Rick Sanchez is a part of Flow's military, and his tech is a part of something that they can use. So they used Operation Phoenix to bring back the Cosmic Fury Rangers, and they decided to upgrade them into the Super Cosmic Fury Rangers, because I didn't like the way those suits looked. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people agree with me that the suits were trash. Maybe some people like the suits. Like, they're okay in a vacuum and stuff like that, but knowing that we could have had Q Ranger and Hikage and Madoka and that, and we didn't get that, like, that just makes me just, you already know how I feel about that. But basically, like, yeah, so the suits, they have the Super Cosmic Fury suits. Now, after the success and the death of the Cosmic Fury Rangers, the other villains hear about this. The main villains hear about this. Lord Zed, Deviant, and Astronomer hear about this. Which I gotta get back to Deviant's trifling ass, because there's a lot of characters here. It's hard to fucking put that nigga. Like, when I do something with Lost Galaxy, Deviant will be more relevant. Like, the Lost Galaxy characters, I haven't done much with it. The only thing I've really done with Lost Galaxy was Karone fucking up Astronomer, which we're about to get to. And, like, Astronomer hears about what happened to the Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. And she's like, oh shit. There's an organization that's killing Power Rangers? And Lord Zed said, let's just go for a test run. Let's just see if they can get rid of the Aquatar Rangers. So Lord Zed calls Aquarius, and Aquarius put her girl Madoka on there so they could both get paid. And they go to Aquatar and fuck they shit up and drain all the water of their planet. And the job was such a success, and Astronomer was so happy that she decided to vaporize the remains of the planet for no fucking reason whatsoever. And Elgar tried to scold her, and she called him a cuckold and blasted him. Because fuck Elgar. She don't like him. Astronomer's always had that energy towards Elgar. Everybody does. Bro, even Eclipta. I remember when Astronomer was trying to talk to Zane and stuff like that. They were going out on a date, and Eclipta was like, yo, I gotta attack the Power Rangers. And Elgar was trying to protect Astronomer. Elgar was like, yeah, but Astronomer said what? Get out of my way, you insect. Like, Eclipta was not playing with him. Damn, Eclipta's dead. Atlantis has killed that nigga. We'll get to that in a second. But, nah, son. Basically, yeah, Eclipta calls all of the Galactic Crashouts to go on a killing spree. Had these Power Rangers. And the first niggas to catch it was the Space Rangers. The Space Rangers caught it, because I always wanted the Psychos to win, man. Like, they won the first time, but then they had to get pulled back, and then they kept on losing members, and then they lost. Nah, I wanted them to get that clean W. Except against Andros, because Andros is my nigga, and I love him dearly. And there's not, Psycho Silver's barely even a character. I mean, he is now, because I made my own variant of Psycho Silver, and he will be fleshed out and stuff like that. But around the time when I was doing the Destroy All Power Rangers, I didn't put Psycho Silver in there, nor did I put Zane in there, because, like, Zane would probably be somewhere with Corone, realistically speaking, because in the Power Rangers Pirate Raid episode 2, he'd be chilling at Bon Tomps and stuff with Corone and stuff. That's how he was able to rescue the Gokaigers when they were fighting Nightmare Penguin inside the universe. So, yeah, so Zane and Corone, they always be together and stuff like that. So that's why he wasn't out there, because, you know, in the show, he wanted to chill with Corone. They wanted to be together. They never really touched on it because this is a kid show and we don't really want to lean on romance that much. But they're together. They're together. They like each other. So, yeah. So they get bodied. The Overdrive Rangers get bodied because, of course, they do. The Overdrive Rangers get bodied because, of course, they do. They're the Overdrive Rangers. Like, and it's Athena. Little did I know at the time that this pink witch would be a problem. Like, when I made the Galactic Crash Outs, I knew all of them were powerful, but as I write the story goes along and I put, like, you know, myself into these characters and stuff like that, like, I start finding new gems in certain characters. Like Athena, oh my gosh, she is ruthless. I love me some Athena. Athena's up there with Hikagen in them right now, son. Now, Athena caught a body. And Erudra, he's another one that I really like. Vexicus, I gotta get back to. But I really want to save him for that Ninja Storm plotline, son. Because Vexicus, like wait, Skylar's a Carmanian, right? That's an alien. That could just be a whole planet of people. We might visit that planet one day. I don't know, guys. The Carmanian sounded kind of tasty. But after that, the Dino Charge Rangers, they get bodied by Immediate because Gemini, who's a shapeshifter, which I didn't necessarily say out loud, but he's Hermes. Like, he's the Greek god Hermes. Like, because most of the Greek gods got new forms in this universe. So for Gemini, it's Hermes. He basically, that's why he was able to call Athena in the Dual Ranger episode. That's the first time she was name dropped as Athena, which is in the second Dual Ranger episode when Gemini said it, because Gemini is Hermes. Those two already know each other. Those two are gods. They're familiar. They're related. So yeah, he bodied most of the Dino Charge Rangers, but the Energem saved Red, Pink, and Blue because I like Red, Pink, and Blue. And like Koda, man, it's Koda right there, bro. Koda survived being frozen for years on end, bro. I think. Because, like, the Energems could save them and stuff like that, but I don't think it's going to save everybody. So there's going to be a couple of casualties. But the Dino Charge Rangers, a couple of them didn't get bodied, which was Tyler, Shelby, and Koda. The Ninja Steel Rangers, Preston and the Pink Ranger, what's her name again? Sarah. Yeah, she didn't get bodied. Those two didn't get bodied, but everybody else got bodied by Parcell and Lord Draven with his Robo Ranger Army. And Parcell, who is the Libra Zodiac, essentially. At the time, I didn't know that was going to be Parcell, but that was the voice that I gave him around that time. And I just decided to lean into that character since he was already there. So, and honestly, Parcell and Qyburn are fucking slept on Game of Thrones, bro, because everybody's always talking about Littlefinger and Varys, but nobody gives Parcell or Qyburn any type of flowers. They were just as deadly. And if they were given more shit, they could be 10 times more deadly. So Parcell took those niggas out, along with Lord Draven, and Darkanda and Scorpion, Mr. Ouroboros Destructo Cannon. Yeah, that nigga, they took out the Beast Morpher Rangers, except for Nate. He got to get out of there. And since Steel is a robot and he could be rebuilt, I mean, he was technically human when he got bodied, but they had his soul on a backup drive so they could just bring him back as a robot. So yeah, he's a robot again. And Devin got bodied, and what's her name? Nah, that's not Ravi, and I saw Big Problems. I think her name was Zoe. Yeah, Zoe. I mean, that's how I remember her name is Miss I Saw Big Problems. But yeah, they got transformed into Brilliant Bugs. And there's still Brilliant Bugs under Darkanda. That hasn't been undone. And lastly, but certainly not least, Rocky got bodied by Jason, who was possessed. And then after that, right after that, Zayto gets bodied. But Mike gets freed because Zayto is a Morphin Master. He could just uncorrupt you. But you're not surviving against 12 niggas that's as strong as First Form Freezer, son. I'm sorry. Well, Kagen's like, around that time, if I had the power scale to a Dragon Ball nigga, he'd be Final Form Free. Right now, shit, that nigga's oof. But yeah, the point is, yeah, Zayto wasn't gonna survive that. It was too many niggas. You had Athena there, Scorpion was there, Kagen was there. Just those three alone could kill him. And then all the other people there, they're just not getting out of that. So yeah, all the Rangers heard about that shit. Like, they all heard about how, like, they teams just got squad wiped by the Galactic Crash Outs. And the first thing that Andros did was knock on the floorless military door. He's like, guys, I know we had our differences. I know y'all niggas hacked the Morphin Grid. But did you see what them niggas did to the other Rangers? I used to have a team. Them niggas is gone. TJ is dead. Toa is somewhere happy right now. And I'm not, because my friends are gone. And Madara's like, alright, bitch nigga, I got you. Do you have to call me a bitch nigga? I call everybody a bitch nigga. I call my girl a bitch nigga. I call my best friend a bitch nigga. Hey, y'all all bitches to me. I just want to, that's just my body. Really? Are you gonna kill me or something? I mean, I'm gonna say I'm gonna kill you, but I'm probably not, because you're probably not even on my, I'm not thinking about your ass, Andros. Why not? I'm Madara. I don't think about nobody but myself and Hashirama and Power. So this was gonna end up happening. I need our help? Bet. Who sent all these motherfuckers to kill y'all? Let's get back at those niggas first. And Dr. K's like, can we just attack the Galactic Crash? And Madara's like, I like to tenderize my food. Let's kill the niggas that hired them first. Let's see how that goes. And they did it. Conan got rid of, what's these niggas' names again? Galvanax and them? Yeah, Galvanax. Got rid of Galvanax. And they're not coming back because they're gone. Maybe Magnamodius, she's not gone. She wasn't on that ship, so she might still be around, lurking somewhere. But everybody else, all them, that force got squad wiped. Divatox got killed, but got brought back because of favors. I like Divatox. Keep her dead forever. Fuck no. Not yet. Well, now niggas can die forever because all the fucking card effects are in this play. But Divatox wasn't going to die around that time for good because of Monster Reborn. Which is why the Yu-Gi-Oh shit. Which is why I'm locking in on the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff right now. Because there's a lot of more Yu-Gi-Oh cards that's going to be used and stuff like that. And just in general, the Yu-Gi-Oh plotline is going to get big. So that's why I really got to sit there and lock in. And then for me to do that, I have to become a duelist again. I have to think like a duelist again. So that's why I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh and watching Mad Yu-Gi-Oh right now. So yeah, Divatox is gone. Yeah, Furious is going. Kakuzu murked him because fuck him. He's not going. He's not coming back. And there's nobody to spin the block for that nigga because nobody loves him. However, the same cannot be said for King Mondo and Master Vile. They do have loved ones. Queen Machina and Rita do not like the fact that their husband and father got bodied by Sasori and Kisame. So yeah, that's why they're in the Shinobi lands right now. Fucking shut up. And Bajillionaire got bodied by Itachi. But the problem with Cthulhuns is if there's a piece of the Cthulhun still exists. And every Cthulhun has a part of them that has a tentacle that they store away just in case they get completely obliterated. They all keep them in a stasis somewhere, just in case some dumb shit happens. And the same shit happened to Bajillionaire. So Amaterasu, it didn't fully destroy her. She just hasn't showed up yet. So Bajillionaire is still around. The Ten Terrors, everybody's safe and Megahorn is still alive. The reason why everybody's safe and Megahorn is still alive because all these niggas are stupid, bro. Alright, the Ten Terrors was some of the dumbest villains I've ever. They were some of the coolest looking characters ever, but they, oh my god. These niggas had followed these rules that made it counterproductive to their job. Like, how do y'all follow rules that make it actively harder for you to kill the Power Rangers? Megahorn had the Gold Ranger, he had Daggeron on his knees, bro. He was about to body this nigga, bro. And the Tistis came out of nowhere, and she was like, do not do it. It is the will of the master. You have not been chosen. And Megahorn's just like, I'm just saying, if I kill this nigga right now, we only gotta fight 5 Power Rangers, not 6. And the Tistis was like, no, that is not the will of the master. Yeah, they're all gone. I don't think Atistis is going though, because she turned goodish. I gotta look back to see if I killed her or not, but I think Atistis is still out there somewhere. I like Atistis. Atistis and Megahorn, my favorite 2 Ten Terrors. Because Atistis kind of look like Sister Sage now that I think about it. Alright, but after that, Ikagen hears about the fact that he killed the Cosmic Fury Rangers, and they're not dead. They're just alive. Just alive and breathing. Just allowed to just coexist in this world. And just breathe the good mother's air. Kagen is not too happy about that shit. So he just goes back in time. Not only that, he has a brother, like Inkworth. Because when I created Ikagen, I did that because that's how I wanted Ikagen to be portrayed, if they would ever make my favorite Sentai villain of all time into an adaptation. And they gave me Inkworth. So I made Ikagen, and I made him 10 times worse than Inkworth could ever fucking be. But at the same time, Inkworth still exists, and he's still canon, so I gotta acknowledge that. So I'm like, alright. He was there too. He just died. That was Inkworth that died in the first episode when the Flawless Military, when they Megazord, they killed him. That was Inkworth. Ikagen showed up afterwards. But basically, yeah, Inkworth got bodied, but he was wearing Ikagen's clothes because he wanted to feel strong and stuff like that. And Ikagen told him to never put my drip on again. You had me out here looking sorry throughout all the Cosmic Fury, and that way I could give Ikagen like something to kind of humanize him. I mean, he doesn't necessarily, no villain necessarily needs humanization, but I feel like for Ikagen, I have a bitch ass little brother that's a bitch ass nigga, but he's not becoming a bitch ass nigga no more, and that's making a tear in my eye. I love this little nigga, but sometimes he ain't shit. That's the type of like humanization I want to do for Ikagen. Besides him blowing people into body parts and shit like that. For Athena, it's just drama, being a rat, being betrayed and shit like that. And yeah, so basically, yeah, Ikagen goes back to get Inkworth because, you know, I want to get my brother back. He died, I kind of want to get him back, kind of miss him, kind of want to call him an idiot. So yeah, he goes back to get his brother, and they kill Bajillionaire in the past. They definitely do that because around the time I really didn't like Bajillionaire, so she had to get caught lacking. Damn, she got caught lacking twice. Oh my god. Poor Bajillionaire. But yeah, Bajillionaire. They caught her lacking, and then they proceeded to kill all of the Cosmic Fury Rangers up until the Flawless Military came. Because the Cosmic Fury Rangers was in J-Tech City with Axel. Chilling with Axel. Eating ice cream. And they disappeared right before Axel's Diddy party going 2 eyes. And Axel didn't know what to do, son. So the first thing he did was, I'm going to call the people with glasses. I'm going to call Dexter and Beatrice and make sure everything is fine because this shit look crazy. He told them niggas. And they sent young Xehanort, who has mastery over time. If you play Kingdom Hearts 3 Drop Distance and Kingdom Hearts 3, you know that Xehanort is a time user. They say that Luxor it is, but he's more like a gamble-based situation, which is why I got him doing a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh shit. But for it was young Xehanort, Zaldin, Roxas, and Xion. And around the time Roxas changed his outfit, Zaldin was using the offshoot of the Shinkenger powers for Heaven, and Roxas had a black Ex Machina outfit on, which is Black Lupin Ranger. But now Roxas got his own custom Lupin, and Zaldin's Black Lupin, essentially. But around that time, that was the form they had. Young Xehanort had like this light blue Star Force form that was Ho-Oh Soldier. And basically, they used these forms. They opened the keyhole, and basically, they found the key to the world, and young Xehanort he basically made it, they sealed the world, so everything Ikagen did was not canon. They sealed it outside of time itself. So it didn't affect the time. And the Star Force Rangers, not the Star Force Rangers, the Cosmic Fury Rangers would appear in the future and be pissed off enough to fight Ikagen in them. And they were. And Ikagen was going to fight everybody, but he had to leave because they weren't paying him and he wasn't getting his money. And he didn't like not getting his money. Because one thing Ikagen is greedy. He's destructive, but he's also incredibly fucking greedy. He kind of wants to get paid for everything he does. If he doesn't get a cent, it kind of makes him, he gets really upset about this. This is why when they hired his Heartless, and Madoko's Heartless, to attack Hollow Bastion, he didn't wait until he heard the cash out signal, because the last time he did this shit, he didn't get paid, and he didn't like that. And around that time, it was revealed that Mavis was on the bad guy side. She was helping fund the Galactic cash outs by stealing money from the Flawless Military, also having several people in several scandalous relationships with Obito and some Seeker of Darkness, and now apparently Xigbar. But whether that's going to be a treacherous thing, or whether it's just going to be two adults just doing their thing, and whether Calypso's going to be angry, happy, or indifferent towards it, remains to be seen. But now that that's happened, the war at Winterfell, because Winterfell got attacked the third time, but not just Winterfell, all the Westeros got attacked. Highgarden got attacked, King's Landing got attacked, Dragonstone got attacked, and freaking Winterfell got attacked. The Dragonstone plotline that got attacked, it was Alicent. She pulled up and she fought Rhaenyra there. Now we're gonna go back on that later on in season 2, when I touch up on the Targaryens, when I touch up on Rhaenyra, on Egg, on Corlys, on all of them. Alicent, she's still under Restronema. So that's what's going on there. Daemon was also there. They were supposed to fight. But the truth is, I just didn't finish that plot line. It just remains to be seen that Mace... But I'm going to tell you essentially what happened. The fight continued to happen up until Restronema got her shit rocked and the Night King dipped. And whatever Psycho Rangers was there, they kind of left. Like that's why Psycho Blue... You didn't see this fight with Psycho Blue and Rickon. And the fight with Alicent and Daemon, because it happened off screen. Truth is, I just didn't make those fights yet, but now I'm looking back at them. Storyline wise, they did happen, and I could mention them in flashbacks. So those fights did happen, but now they're fighting a bunch of Night Kings, and the first thing that happens is Arya Stark gets frozen, because this isn't Game of Thrones season 8. You're not going to be the victor this time, Arya. You're going to be removed from the picture, and everybody else going to be able to kill the Night King, but not really, because the Night King made duplicates of himself because he used Multiply. And the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic works in my world is kind of similar to how it worked in the virtual world of Yu-Gi-Oh! And in the ancient world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where the card kind of does what the name itself would say or something like that. You kind of make up your effect as you go along. Even though these cards do have effects, sometimes they go by it, sometimes they don't. But basically would multiply with Cold Wave. It froze Arya and multiplied the Night King. So the rest of the forces have to deal with copies of the Night King and stuff. And the Lannisters actually pull up to Winterfell because Cersei, because Jaime, y'all didn't see this, but like Jaime kind of told Cersei like what happened last time when they didn't come to Winterfell and shit like that. So they kind of wanted to pay them back for not pulling up in Winterfell the first time when the Night King showed up. So they're like, all right, we're gonna pull up this time. And they all fought the Night King and stuff like that. Even Bran fought the Night King reluctantly, because Bran was the nigga who sent him there in the first place. Bran was trying to see everything out, but he had to play face and stuff like that. And the battle was already looking in the tide, which is why Bran had to maneuver in the future and make more evil shit happen, and keep on manipulating more fucking people to act up. They are playing. If y'all hear music in the background, like rap music, like they're playing music really loud outside, and I have no control over the volume, so just forgive me. But basically, yeah, they defeat all of the Night Kings: Jon Snow, Sansa, Arya, Baelish, Stannis, Robert, and the Lannisters, and the Tyrells. The Tyrells turned into Digimon because the Flores military also has access to Digimon. Just not everybody always wants to be a Digimon. Because the Power Ranger, because some of the things that the Flores military have is lesser known. Not everybody knows about everything that they have. But for the Power Rangers, everybody knows that they got Rangers. So that's usually the first thing niggas ask for. Niggas don't think to ask for them. And even if they do, they can just tell you no. Like when Beatrice said with the Tywin Lannister when he was asking for more power, she basically told that nigga no, her mother insights. And Zigbar basically said, you know, I'm gonna give it to you anyway because I'm mad that I got cheated on. So yeah, I'm mad that I got cheated on, and on top of that, I'm trying to stir the pot a little bit. And I think you would actually be useful for our goals. You think you're useful for your own goals, but no, I'm actually doing this to benefit us. Little does anybody know. If they ever press me about it, watch. And so, but yeah, so Zigbar's on some fuck shit, but it's just because him and Rogexi will have to have a long ass conversation because that breakup he didn't necessarily know how to go about it because of Madara. Because you on any other situation, Zigbar could just fight him, but Zigbar does not want to fight Madara. He's actually terrified of fighting that nigga. You don't want to fight that nigga. Madara's scary. And so, just more or less, that's what's going on there. And now, Astronema bit off more than she could chew because she kept on sending monsters and sending Dragon Ball Z niggas and Viltrumites to fight Rogexio. And Rogexio got very, very angry and showed up and deleted her and Eclipta from existence. That's the first time Eclipta died in my story. Damn, if you count all of Eclipta's deaths in my story and in the canon Power Rangers, that nigga died like 5-6 times, damn. But yeah, so yeah, Eclipta and Astronema died, but they brought them back to life for Monster Reborn. And they basically had an evil council meeting, and that's when Mavis was revealed to be in with the rest of the Crash House knew that she was there at that point. And after that was the Chase for Tommy arc. In the Chase for Tommy arc, Lord Draken was in control of Tommy Oliver. He was in control of Tommy Oliver, and just more or less, like he was going throughout the universe because this universe is new to him. He used his own universe in the canon Power Ranger universe. This Power Ranger universe is way bigger. So he passed by a lot of people. And one person he passed by that didn't even acknowledge his existence was Frieza. And Frieza was talking about his great-great-grandfather wiping out the Cthulhans and stuff. Because Frieza was unaware that the Cthulhan race even came back. And the reason why is because the Cthulhans kept a low profile. They invaded universes that didn't have Frieza or any of his people there. Because their race was created by a genetic alteration of shit that happened in space. The planet being destroyed. The planet essentially being Poseidon itself. Poseidon being immortal. And the space god's essence and DNA just being there once the planet was destroyed and Poseidon willed it back. These aliens, these Cthulhans resembled Frieza more so than like the Frieza race essentially mixed with whatever they had before as Cyclopses and Octopi people. So now it created this race. That's why eons later, after the resets are all said and done, and the Cthulhans are out there now, and they've conquered and obliterated many galaxies and shit like that. A lot of them are fucking arrogant to a fault. Most of them are. Some of them are less arrogant, like Imelda, the red female Cthulhan, the female Ikagan looking Cthulhan. She's more calm-minded than the rest of them. She's still ruthless. You've seen what she did to the 2017 Rangers, but she's more calm-minded than the rest of the Cthulhans. But yeah, at that point in time, Tommy basically ends up on Destiny Islands with Sora. And Sora is talking about how he wants to marry Kairi one day, because the thing about Sora is, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, he disappeared and went to Quadratum. And he was going to stay in Quadratum until Rogexio blended the universes together. And when she did it for the Kingdom Hearts universe, Sora kind of popped right back into the Kingdom Hearts universe. So he popped back into place. to be within this canon. It's called a canon shift. Whenever Rogexio blends a canon, whenever you see a new character from a different universe, that is a canon shift. So, for Sora's canon shift, that's what ended up happening there. And Sora is a being of light. So, Draken couldn't necessarily control Tommy the way he wanted to, because Sora was right there and his light was holding his darkness at bay. But Sora got a lot of enemies. And some of these enemies are aligned with the Galactic Crash Outs. In fact, mostly all of them, except for like the Disney characters and villains, which I'm not really touching mostly on most of them. Maybe Maleficent, but I don't know. But yeah, most of the people, most of the non-organization, Organization 13 members. What I mean by that is niggas like Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, and Vanitas. Those ones are the ones that Sora gotta worry about. Because regular Organization 13, they chillin'. Like Sora visits the niggas on Thanksgiving and celebrates Halloween with them, and they give presents to each other on Christmas. That's weird. But when it comes to niggas like Ansem and Vanitas still wants to fade. Like he still wants to fight, and Tommy's there, so he gets lacking by Tommy. And Kimberly, after the Abyss of Evil opened, Kimberly essentially decided to retire for a while. She didn't want to be a Power Ranger no more, because Kimberly had a long life. After the events of Turbo and Zeo, she was in the 2017 universe and stuff like that. She never necessarily wrote a letter, but she was going through so much at the time that she didn't really get a chance to really lock in on the letter and stuff like that. And she was just stuck in the 2017 universe. Because around that time, she didn't know what the hell was going on. She wasn't really seeing anybody, because her and Tommy already kind of like separated, but not really. The letter was just the confusing part. When somebody else wrote the letter, we're going to figure out who the fuck wrote the letter as the storyline goes on. But as she is in the current storyline, recently, as we are right now, her and Jason are kind of seeing each other. The reason why is because, they've been on the battlefield together. They actually have love for each other. And with Tommy having a child with Catherine and him kind of being established with it, it's too much of a conundrum for Kimberly to wrap her head around. So she just decided to be with Jason for now. We don't know exactly what's going to go through with that one. But basically, Kimberly went out of her way to find Tommy. And she had to fight a slew of opponents. She had to fight Heartless. She had to fight Guard Armor. She had to fight Cancer. Her direction was redirected by Obito. And Rick Sanchez had to help her get to the island. And when she got to the island, Tommy separated himself into his own Ranger team. He swapped the colors of all of his forms and gave them all different colors just to match a whole entire Ranger team. And they all fought Sora until Noragi and Naminé showed up. Naminé used her chain of memories to free one of the Tommies, the White Ranger Tommy. He ended up getting free. So now they have a Tommy to anchor the rest of the Tommies to. And Lord Draken, he already got what he needed, because he just needed the battle experience for the ritual to happen so he could be fully revived. And now he got revived, so he just blew up the island after that. But Kimberly showed up in the Megazord and beat the crap out of him. Lord Draken was like, hey yo, Zordon told you that's against Zordon's rules. You can't use a Megazord against me unless you escalate the battle. And Kimberly's like, we're at war, idiot. The reason I did this is because in the comic books, Kimberly did the same thing. Monster was about to grow big. Kimberly got tired of that shit. She just blew up the monster before it could even grow big. So I figured she would just use the Megazord to blow it up. And the rule, don't escalate a battle unless evil forces you to. This nigga just destroyed an entire island. So yeah. That's escalating a battle. You just destroyed an environment where there was animals there. They're dead now. So yeah. So now, prior to that, it was a battle where they had to free Alicent and Helena. They succeeded in freeing Helena. That's when Elgar got transformed into a fish. They failed in rescuing Alicent because Astronomer pulled their forces back at the last moment. And Redrone's first, the Sagittarius III, was bested by Lucky Vaughn and was destroyed by the Megazord with Thanos' Thunder Crash straight attack. And he got a new body, which is a Heartless body created by Kyber, which he'd be a Redrone Sagittarius IV. So when you see him in his red and black body later on around episode 28, 29, that's his new body essentially. It was built by Kyber. So after that, Strelitzia, Tintin, and Ming was on the phone. And Ming was talking about how she can't really be a Power Ranger right now because Rocky died and they don't really want her to be Power Rangers because there's too much dangerous things happening in the Power Rangers. There's Galactic Crash House that's killing people, Power Rangers, animals, and all types of shit. And there's niggas like Madara, Xemnas, and Littlefinger that are Power Rangers, and we don't know if we can trust these niggas yet because in their canons, all three of these niggas was assholes, the biggest assholes we can imagine. They was doing all types of shit. They was harassing minors. They was putting niggas into infinite genjutsus. They was making kids fight each other to the death. They was pushing bitches off the cliff. They was poisoning kings and shit, kissing bitches, all types of shit. All three of these niggas. That's why Santa Claus told them that they had to work really hard to get off the fucking naughty list. And Xemnas is perfectly fine with that. And Littlefinger, he don't really give a fuck about Christmas anyway. But if he's talking to Santa Claus and Santa Claus is a thing, I'm gonna get something out of it. So can I still get something if I behave myself and do this for you, Mr. Santa Claus? Because I know I gotta be a nice guy, unless this bitch is gonna come for my head. But I'm still kind of greedy. So can I? I'm still gonna have my hand out a little bit. But yeah, so basically, now Master Xehanort got tired of Organization 13's nonsense, because now they're the flawless military. They got a new boss and stuff. They get paid now. They have different bathrooms. Like the place is clean. It's pink now. He's used to his castle being all white. She turned the nobody sigil upside down and turned it pink. Like he tried to talk to Xemnas about it, but Xemnas is talking about Planet Nirvana and Rihanna and just being on the planet with nature. He's trying to talk to Terranort about it, but Terranort don't give a fuck about that. Terranort's listening to K-pop Demon Hunter. He about to marathon that shit for the 3rd time. He tried that shit with Young Xehanort. Young Xehanort discovered the Pokemon world. He discovered, wait, I can just watch other creatures fight and go on journeys? This shit kind of lit. Wait, what's this called? A gym badge? I gotta beat niggas up with my Pokemon. And Pokemon are creatures that I could raise? Like, Young Xehanort found the Pokemon world and he's never been the same after that. Master Xehanort is not happy about it. So Master Xehanort had to create a new Heartless, a new Nobody, and get a different Young Xehanort from a whole different universe in order to redo his organization. He kidnapped whoever the fuck he could and grabbed whoever the hell he could. That's why, like, later on, Rita grabs up Riku and they grab up Lexi early, even though Aqua and Ventus are technically back because Luxord rescued them in 28. The replica program, baby. So yeah, we probably still got to deal with the Shadow Aqua and the Shadow Ventus, because Master Xehanort 13 is still going to happen regardless whether anybody likes it or not, because that old man is determined to put 1 and 3 next to each other. That is all he wants to do, is put the number 1 and the number 3 and have niggas in black coats fill up those ranks. So yeah, he wants to achieve Kingdom. He still wants to do all of this crap. He still wants to do his Kingdom Hearts play. He's old. He doesn't know how to change. He's too stubborn for all of that. And the nobodies that he creates, well, the creatures that he creates, Sacrosis and Necrosis. Sacrosis is incredibly loyal to Master Xehanort. He wants to prove himself and shit like that. And he just kind of enjoys doing what he does. Like, he doesn't mind being an evil piece of shit, because he generally doesn't like Xemnas. Because, you gotta understand, Sacrosis was brought to life, and Master Xehanort was already talking about how inferior his other nobody is. So Sacrosis is going to have this air of superiority about him. Necrosis is a little bit different. Necrosis is mad chill, actually. Necrosis is just this regular guy that just so happens to have muscles and be a Heartless. He's really good friends with Madoka. Madoka be friends with usually a lot of the Galactic Crash House. Mikage and Madoka, they usually do, except for Master Xehanort and Ansem, because like Mikage don't like the fact that he wasn't getting paid, and the fact that Ansem was over here talking about darkness instead of scrapping with Xemnas got under his skin. Like he was wondering, like, oh, where's the pew pew at? Where's the ha? Where's the I'ma stab you? You don't got none of that? You just gonna sit there and fold your arm, bitch ass nigga. That's why Mikage was, he ain't fuck with Ansem because of that, bro. Like, he just did it. But yeah, the first thing Ansem did is fucking have the Sacrosis attack Kairi by giving them Shadow Aqua. So he got to fight with Shadow Aqua first, and Shadow Aqua tried to fight off Abuela. They put a blade on Abuela, and Kairi snuffed her, and they had to get into a fight. And Kairi was about to get her ass beat, and then Abuela came out of nowhere and tried thunder at Aqua. And then it'll reveal that Abuela was Ava the entire time, because we all think that that's Ava from Kingdom Hearts. Like, if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan like me, and you played these games and stuff like that, and you've seen Ava, and you heard of the grandma story and stuff, we all think that's Ava, because she's the only one that didn't come back during the secret ending and stuff, and the rest of the foretells was looking for her during the secret ending. Although she does get bodied later on, because Mavis takes her out, which the repercussions of that is going to happen a lot later in the season and stuff like that. Definitely, they're not going to be passed over. Like, even though Mavis said she was not important, she was important to somebody, and when that somebody finds out, they're gonna be incredibly mad. But yeah, Ava basically saves her, and then Sacrosis comes and he injures Kairi, because, like, you know, Kairi's tired of these nobodies, so they keep on teleporting and talking and stuff like that, so Kairi just wants the hands. But you shouldn't interrupt the villainy monologue, especially when all his stats are maxed out and yours aren't. So, like, she got blasted and she got injured, and all this did was piss Sora off, because Sora was at his mama house. Sora just got finished dealing with Lord Draken and saying goodbye to Naragi and Naminé. Now he at his mama house, and the first thing he hears is his girl is in the hospital. That there's Naruto ninjas healing her. That Shizune is healing his girlfriend in the hospital. Why is Shizune healing my girlfriend in the hospital? She got injured. Who injured her? One of the nobodies. Wait, aren't y'all niggas nobodies? No. There's nobodies that don't fuck with us. Where the fuck Xemnas at? You Cole. Xemnas? You wanna come and be the fuck up? Who the fuck did this? And Xemnas like, yeah, I got you. Yeah, you know you owe me for Kingdom Hearts. For all the shit you put me through in Kingdom Hearts. Xemnas like, nigga, I got you. Don't worry, bro. I got you. We gonna fuck these niggas up. And fuck them up, they did. Because as soon as Sora found Sacrosis, he put belt to ass. Sora put belt to absolute booty cheeks on Sakrosis. Sakrosis could not withstand it. The onslaught of a Sora that could control the darkness. You didn't know. You made him so mad that he could just control the shit now. Fuck wrong with you? And then Ikaga's Heartless had to fight the rest of the main of Organization 13. And then there was Thanksgiving. They had a little Thanksgiving special where Madara said he trained Tyreek, but not after like talking shit to her first and shit like that. Then Beatrice had to shut all that shit down because she's incredibly scary. Madara, you're powerful, but you don't have classes, access to smart people shit. So like yeah, that's even more scary. So now after that, Batman essentially was trying to side with Guy Tate because he wasn't necessarily sure about the Flawless Military, but he was secretly also getting in touch with the Flawless Military. Him and Beatrice Gravestone started talking. Like, he actually went to her as Bruce Wayne. Like, he slid into her DMs, which Beatrice barely checks and stuff like that. But when she saw it, he checked it, and she already knew the nigga was Batman, which freaked Batman the fuck out. So, yeah, and Rogexiel and Superman are already working together because they already had a meeting and they made a deal about the villains of both the DC and the Flawless Military Universe and stuff like that. And Sky Tate is pissed because like he thought Batman was going to work for him. He thought Batman was going to be the reason why he takes the Flawless Military down. And that's not happening. And it's going to be even worse now because Jack's back. And Jack's like, no, we need to worry about the Galactic Crash House. And Sky's like, yeah, but the Flawless Military. And he's like, they killed a lot of operas, which, you know, they kind of did. But Jack, the Galactic Crash House are doing that on a daily basis. Jack had to go to 4 funerals. 4 of them shits. So Jack's just picking his battles. So he's like, I'm not going to fight them niggas because we need them niggas to beat those other niggas. We worry about what they did after the squid demon and the Greek bitch is dead. Once we kill the Greek bitch and the squid people, then we could do all this Flawless Military, get back at mommy stuff. And Sky's like, I don't know, I'm thinking about it. I might just have Sky turn evil at some point, bro. At some point, Sky might just turn evil. Because for Sky, it's personal. And it's not Rogexiel that he's mad at. Because Rogexiel didn't do anything. It's fucking Shion and them. They're the ones that fucking came in there. Like when they fucking, bro, every time that something bad happened, it was actually Organization 13. Rogexiel was chilling. Rogexiel always heard about the shit after the fact. Niggas was like, oh yeah, Shion got arrested again. She was like, what? How? And by the time she could come up with something to do, because she was already busy dealing with a bunch of other shit, situation was solved. Niggas was like, all right, now we're gonna get Shion out of jail. They were like, Saxon and broke her out already. Wait, what? They did? Yup. Oh, well, that's all right, breaking my SPD's mad at us. And that's one organization. We don't need to worry about that. You probably should have flew over there and probably had a chat with Dovey Kruger Calypso, because you could have avoided a lot of PTSD from Sky Tate. But yeah, after that, Athena comes to the Huntrix concert. Her, Michael Jackson, and Pumpkin Rapper. They all come to and they turn niggas into pumpkins and stone. And Ming is amongst one of the people transformed into stone. Her, along with Eamon, Helena, and Aegon. They're all teleported by the corridors of darkness back to the Gravestone Twins, so they can be transformed back to normal. And if Terrana was not there, Ming probably would have died, and along with the Targaryens and everybody else that was there. And basically, they dealt with Athena. There was a long foot battle where Athena fought the Star Force Rangers. Captain was controlled by Draken around this time, and she was made into his new evil Ranger Slayer. And Michael Jackson and Tommy were fighting. That fight led Tommy out of the battlefield, and Athena was fighting Lucky Vaughn. Thanos, Terranor, and Morty vanquished Pumpkin Rapper, and then Morty started doing crazy shit with his portal gun, like teleporting niggas into Season 8 of Game of Thrones, into the end of Lion King, and transforming niggas into burgers and shit. And Athena was terrified of that, because she was transformed into a rat for several resets, millennia, years that we can't even quantify at a number. She was just a rat for. And that's her phobia, and that's exactly what Morty does. Like, she's fighting Lucky Vaughn, she's winning, she's using telekinesis to bop him around. Morty transforms her into a fucking rat. And then she's just like, did you just malform me into a rat? How dare you? She starts screaming and shit. She basically crashes out and kills everybody there except for the Power Rangers. Everybody that's not a Power Ranger died at that concert, and Calypso and Madara brought everybody back to life with Rene Rebirth and Grand Reversal. So all of the souls that she vanquished were essentially solved. They did that shit fast before they passed on, and they basically like couldn't go nowhere. They couldn't be brought back into the Necro Valley, so they did that shit back before it could hit the Necro Valley threshold. So the souls are still drifting. If they would have like left the stratosphere and went to heaven and shit, then they would have been going for it. But they basically brought them back and they put Athena in the Genjutsu where she's a rat in a cage with me. Yep, I'm in the Genjutsu. I am watching Kamen Rider Force, and there's 50 cents on the television screen. And then Master Xehanort saves her from getting obliterated by Madara and Calypso, because that's exactly what would have happened. She would have been destroyed. Would have been able to scurry away as a rat like she did later on in the episode. Which later on the Huntrixes show up and they all jump, and Mira, Zoe, and Rumi, along with Lucky Von and Madara and Calypso, all jump Athena. And Madara uses his ancient blade to cut Athena's armor, and she's a rat and she's running away, and she runs into the water, and Poseidon basically saves her. So now she's in Poseidon's underwatery abode until she gets a new blue body, in which when she gets a new blue body, she starts crashing out all over again, essentially. But now she's in Poseidon's underwater abode, and Tommy was sent to fight Kamen Rider Decade. And Decade, this entire time, because we see the last time we saw Decade was episode 7, when it was known that he was in the Galactic Crash House with the rest of the Galactic Crash House. And what was Decade doing? Decade was doing exactly what Decade does in the series, wiping out Kamen Rider universes. And by the time he met Tommy, he was going to wipe him out, because he was directed to kill Tommy by Draken and the rest of the Galactic Crash House. And Captain Marvelous showed up, because he's been tracking Decade and stuff like that, because he heard about the Kamen Rider universes getting destroyed and stuff. Because there were certain Ranger keys that he got to find. Because every time the Flawless military makes Ranger keys, Captain Marvelous got to go out there and find that copy. Because now there's a new Ranger key somewhere in the universe and he has to find it. And some of the universes that Captain Marvelous went to find these Ranger keys, them shits were obliterated by either Decade, Galactic Crash House, Zomgek, the Cthulhuans. Insert mysterious threat here. So, yeah. They defeat Decade, and that creates a whole new wave of Kamen Riders, because he uses Grid Flint and he tries to purify Decade's powers, but all that does is confuse the driver, and it just creates a bunch of other drivers and Kamen Rider powers that's being dispersed throughout the universe. So when you see niggas pulling up with Kamen Rider powers, it was that episode that it happened. After that was the Christmas episode. It was basically the Christmas episode where, guys, I'm going to come back because I promised my mans that I was going to be over there. And I had a lot of stuff to do, and I've been recording this for quite some time. It's going to be a long video. When I come back, I'm going to touch off from when I left off.
Using my own body, not Terra's. The Golden Lord will resurrect me with Monster Reborn once the process is done. I shall have my replacements for those 3. Mayhaps a new 30. Organization 13 Oblivion. With order. Now they are the Flawless military. We shall be ruined. My new fiendish 13.